Today we are taking a look into SimCity 4, a game that I used to live my life back in the day, and I can bet you that many of you watching this did too. Or if you did not, you might get interested in giving it a shot over those new iterations of the game we have today. So let's dive into the retrospective of SimCity 4. SimCity 4 is a game developed by now long-gone studio Maxis, which shut down back in March 4th, 2015. The studio is known for many famous games you and I played back in the day, such as The Sims, yes, the original Sims 1, The Sims 2 and 3, and believe it or not, even The Sims 4, as well as Spore, a space evolution simulation game that we will cover in future videos. But back to the SimCity 4. The game was developed in 2003 for Windows and macOS and was the fourth installment of the SimCity game series. The game had one single expansion developed for it, SimCity Rush Hour, which added new features to the SimCity 4, such as being in control of the city transportation and new disasters that can affect the city like UFO attacks as well as Autosaurus Rex, a giant robot made of, well, cars. Now that the boring part is out, let's begin with the fun part of the video, the gameplay of SimCity 4. So, what do you do exactly in SimCity? Well, as the title suggests, you simulate a city and you do that from the position of a mayor of the city. The game allows you, the player, to pick a region of the land on the map and terraform it to your liking, after which you are gonna build a settlement, which eventually will grow into a huge bustling city. You have three options when it comes to zoning different areas, and those three are residential zone, for where your people will live and spend their miserable lives, unless you create utopia that is. A commercial zone, where the Sims of your city will go do their shopping, and what now and last zone, industrial zone, where your favorite companies are gonna pollute air to your heart's content, providing you those sweet simoleons in return. But that is not all. When you create the skeleton of your city with roads and initial zones, your people require other public services, as hospitals, police stations, and firefighters, which all do their job to keep your city in check, as well as public transportation options and utilities like waste disposal, water cleaning plant, and other services you might unlock down the line. While you do all of that, your goal is to build a city and manage your finances so you don't go broke. Environment, so your people are not sick non-stop, as well as quality of life, for example building parks and venues, so your population will enjoy spending their time in, doing nothing. There are also now day and night cycles, which are new to the SimCity series, as well as other special effects never seen before in past iterations of the series. That is, for the time the game was developed in. Oh, and on top of all of that, how could I forget? SimCity 4 was praised for its shift to 3D using a 3D engine to render its graphics following its implementation of 3D graphics in SimCity 64 for the Nintendo 64DD. You also have option of selecting three game modes: a God mode, a mode which is available before establishing a new city, mostly to terraform your land to your likings, but also to cause mayhem on existing city by triggering disasters, then the mayor mode, which will be the mode you are playing in 90% of the time, building and developing your city further, and last mode, my sim mode, which lets you basically play as the sim in the town, where you can create your own personal sim, or more of them, follow them around but with limited functionality. You can't really walk around your town, but you can drive cars, many versions of slow and fast cars, as well as do missions for those sims or public services that often pop out and give you rewards for finishing them. Alright, and your sim can also die by certain disasters that you might cause or spawn naturally, or events that might occur in the game, Leave the city if conditions become not suitable for life or just die of an old age. In which case, there is a chance that if they do, that their child might take over and continue their life duties. There is also one cool feature that I always liked playing around with, and that is building designs. You have 4 distinct architectural styles from which you can choose from, which can be selected individually or simultaneously for buildings to be built from. The earliest era is based on early offices towers from Chicago, Illinois. In 1890s, the second era encompasses Art Deco base set from New York City, based on 1940s. The third includes modernist style based on buildings from Houston, Texas in 1990s, and the final style is modern European architecture based mostly around Germany in the early 2000s. There are a number of buildings based on those found in San Francisco, but I will let you find those on your own rather than spoiling all of them in this video. The plot. What is actually the plot of the SimCity 4? Well, the plot is that there is no plot. Or the story of each city you create is one you create on your own, same as in, let's say, Sims, where you create a family and dictate how the story goes. But instead of managing individual Sims, think of managing whole bustling and hustling city under your control. Do you want to be a total douche and raise taxes through the roof? Go for it, chief. Do you want to create a utopia where people live their best lives opposite of hellish taxes? The world is your oyster and the whole story depends on how you feel that day or your ideas for the city you are creating. That is the charm of simulation games. You might imagine this idea you want to create, but in the end, it turns into a soup of everything and anything least representing the city. And I am guilty of that too, especially in my younger days where I had no idea why the advisors were blinking red. So let's look at some statistics on how SimCity 4 was received back in the day. This one was tricky to find since not a lot of info from those times is posted publicly online, but it's speculated that at the release somewhere around 294,000 game copies were sold, where best-selling location was the UK, where it sold over 1,000 copies. During first half of 2003, which also made it the UK's third best-selling computer game for that period of the game and 8th across all the platforms available back then. The game also received Golden Sales Award from ELSPA, short from Entertainment and Leisure Software Publishers Association, indicating sales of at least 200,000 copies in the UK, where the deluxe edition earned Silver Award from ELSPA for at least 100,000 copies sold. The reviews came after its release, which were mainly positive overboard, gaining 84 out of 100 for Metacritic and 85.09% overall score on Game Rankings. The game also got 9.2 out of 10 rating from IGN, calling it a major revolutionary and evolutionary step in the series, as well as commenting that addition of the new region view added more depth to the SimCity 4 and that the gameplay has a more accurate representation of city planning and maintenance than its previous titles. But there were also critical reviews, for example from GameSpy, which gave them 75 out of 100, commenting that while SimCity was a graphically stunning game, it also suffered performance and difficulty issues that would drive casual players away from it. On top of all of that, SimCity 4 won the Editor's Choice Award by IGN in January 2003, and it was also given the Parents' Choice Award by the Parents' Choice Foundation too. So, should you give SimCity 4 a go? Absolutely. If you are into old school simulation games as well as city builders, you will find home in SimCity 4, as do not let its age fool you, it has many features and mechanics that go deeper than what we covered in this video, which of course I'll let you discover on your own. There would be fun in the spoiling it for you here. With all of that said, it's time to end the video. Thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, you know what to do. Leave a like, share, subscribe for more content like this, and most important, stay awesome.